Greetings, everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of the Dharma Bum Show. We are here at Camp Terrapin with the Dharma Dogs. And there goes Xavier off campus. Now, right off the bat, you might be asking, Dharma Bum, why are we looking at your phone? Why does everything seem so strange? Well, I have downloaded some very cool and sophisticated inline production software for my phone because today's video is going to be about mobile apps that will help you in your Buddhist practice. And that being the subject, I needed to produce this video on my phone, and now I have the ability to produce videos on my phone, and so that opens up the possibility of doing live streams at events and all sorts of other things. But for today, I'm going to show you 8 Buddhist apps that I really appreciate and use a lot and like, and that I think might be useful for you as well. By way of channel news, I want to first of all apologize very, very much for my absence on YouTube. As of late, we haven't made a lot of videos for you, and I really apologize, but I've been working really hard on my book. It's called Vajra Cave, and it's a daily practice for solitary Buddhists like myself. It's essentially how I practice, and if you've looked at any of my first 10 videos that I made on my channel, then you have a really good idea of what this book is going to be about and contain. It's basically the same sorts of things and concepts, just a little bit more organized, a little bit more codified for you, and so it will give a very precise, useful and easy way for when sort of new folks come into the community and they ask, okay, well, I'm a Buddhist now. Now what? And instead of pointing people at my videos, which I think I do okay videos, but this will be something a little maybe more solid to point them towards the new folks. And so hopefully, that I'd like it to come out December 1st. It's one of the few things that I'm actually willing to sort of reach out for some support for. So I would point out that there's donation links in the description of the channel and also in the description of all the videos. Please, any donations you give now will go directly towards helping me finish the book. It's almost done now. And also to help me have days off like today under the tree, because most of this book is actually being written under our beautiful holly tree. You can see how gorgeous she is and how she takes care of us, and so it's been quite a wonderful place. I wrote a couple books in coffee houses, and so writing a book out here in Mother Nature for all of you is really quite gratifying. So, but I need the help because sitting here under the tree is not the kind of work that we normally do, me and the boys, and so it's kind of like a day off for us. So help us out, help support the book by donating. Everybody who donates or who has ever donated to the channel will get a free copy, a free ebook version copy the day before it's released. So you'll have it during the live stream sort of release party. You'll already have yours, and so whether it's $5 or 50, whatever you donate, you'll get a sort of an advanced copy, if you will, of the book. And I think it's okay for me to put it out at this point. I don't have any indication otherwise, but so if I'm in the wrong, I guess I'll get slapped down in the comments. But I think it's okay to let you know at this point that Lama Choga will be writing the foreword to the book. And so there's that. And hopefully he will join me during the live stream even when we release it on December 1st, which I'd really like to do. So I need your help. Anyway, enough said. Like and subscribe also helps out a lot. Helps the algorithm. We got to feed the algorithms to keep these videos getting out there. And it's really nice to be back with all of you doing a video. This is going to be a fun little video. So if I'm doing this all correctly, you can see the desktop of my phone, and that's where we're sort of at today. Usually, of course, I'd be on my laptop doing these videos. What we're going to look at today is some really useful apps. I'm a big believer in modern technology and using it to assist the Dharma and assist the practice and the spread of the Dharma in general. And so in that vein, I personally use a number of different apps, and I've picked 8 of them today and put them on my desktop. I'll slide over here to the and you can see them. They're the eight bottom ones there, and we're going to look at them in order. We're going to start with what you see there, the Buddhist Pocket Shrine. I really love the Buddhist Pocket Shrine. It's got one detriment, and it's got built-in ads. It is free. So I went in before I started the video and hopefully got rid of today's ad, and I won't get hit by one when we're showing you this. But if I get hit by ads on any of these, just bear with it, right? These are all free apps, right? So they do sometimes have paid versions where you can upgrade and get better. Like I'll show you one, which is a meditation one, where you can get better content, like say better guided meditations and stuff like that. But I'm going to go ahead and minimize my picture, and then we're going to look at, we're going to start with the Pocket Shrine and take a look at it, okay? So here we go. This is the Buddhist Pocket Shrine. It's available on Google Play, and I will have the links in the order that I present these. The links will be also in the description. So this is the Buddhist Pocket Shrine, and what it does is it essentially gamifies the creation of a shrine, a sacred space. But it does so in a very accurate way, in the sense that everything is according to Buddhist tradition. Even the position on the altar that you see in front of you of the items, and we're going to show the items and everything and how the app works, but the position of them and the material that they're made out of is all sort of traditional and authentic, right? So this is a great way, because when people first start making sacred shrine, they're like, well, isn't there a place where all this stuff goes? Isn't there an order to this? Well, there's a tradition, right? And so if you want to see what that tradition is to get yourself started, of course you're not bound by that. When you make your sacred space or your shrine, you can pretty much do whatever you want. But this is a good way, at least, to see how it's been done, in the past, and in very granular detail. And then you work on your shrine. But also, this tool is not only good for building sacred space and for creating actual, like, real life physical sacred space as sort of a guide, but it's also a great replacement if you're not able to deploy or to get to your own sacred space. It's sort of a sacred space in your pocket, right? You've always got your phone with you, so you can we'll look at how this has got all the accoutrements of complete sacred space, like including tones and bells and mantras, and we'll examine all of that. But you can essentially, from this one app, create a little desktop. You can be at a picnic table during your lunch break or whatever, and you can pull out your phone and bring up your Pocket Shrine and create a full little mini sacred space right there on the go. So it's a great guide, and it's a great sort of virtual go-to when you're out on the go. So looking at the app now, we've just logged in. I've come in today, and I have an NPC. That's a non-player character for those of you not used to playing. This is an old lady who has come to visit my shrine. And this happens from time to time. It's probably 1 out of 10 times that you log in, you'll be visited, or your shrine will have been visited by an NPC. And so this is the old lady NPC, and she says, "My, you're doing a good job here. What a lovely shrine this place is becoming. Here's some offerings for the gods." So we click OK, and she has just filled up our sort of our little rice bowl, our drink offering bowl with, I don't know if we can see what she gave us. She gave us rice wine, which is what I normally use anyway, so that's perfect. Okay, so we'll edit out the ad. All right, so here we are in the Buddhist Pocket Shrine, and I have not done anything in here today, other than I came in and dusted it off and tried to like roll one of the ads. So I want to make an offering today. So the first thing I'm going to start with is my candle offering. I'm going to make a large candle offering. You can see it's debiting my money. I have coins up at the top of the screen on the right hand side, and it's debiting me. I'm going to make an incense offering, but I'm going to change this up. I'm going to go with a couple of brangs this morning. And that's in honor of my, we'll make this offering for an auspicious day for everybody watching this video. That's kind of our blessing that we give here at Dharma Bum Productions. So for all of you, for an auspicious day, for watching this video, this is what our offerings are for. And now we'll make a food or flower offering. I like flowers, so there's some purple flowers for that offering. Now, there's a bunch of things we can do. Let's say that, like I am using this as an actual shrine to practice on, then I can go up here to the musical notes. I like the healing bowl and the crystal bowl both. You can play multiple ones. So we're going to do them both at the same time. And then we're going to go over here and pick a mantra. Now, this is an Amitabha Buddha. So if I choose an Amitabha mantra, I get a bonus. Right? So again, it's kind of gamified to a certain extent. And now we're going to go ahead and pray. You can see down bottom where I've got different steps for how powerful my prayer is going to be. And we're going to hit pray. And there we are. And so that's the Buddhist Pocket Shrine. You can, again, you go through the process of upgrading your temple area. When we started, we just had a little stone altar and a little tiny stone Buddha and a plastic plate. And now, and as you go through and you earn cash and whatnot by the gamification of it, you can buy better Buddhas. I think I have a bronze Buddha now and a copper incense burner. So, you know, upgrading, and I got a really big temple area. So now for the shrine. Anyway, so that's the Buddhist Pocket Shrine. We're going to go ahead and exit that. Now, the next one we'll take a quick look at is the Insight Timer. Insight Timer is my go-to, my choice anyway, for organizing pretty much all of my meditation. It has the alarms so that I can know when I'm supposed to be meditating, and those are really wonderful. I have to say the notifications are really well done. It's a very pleasant reminder that you get to meditate, and also you can set up different programs within it for meditation. So we'll go ahead and take a look. I've reset this. I think it should be set to where you're a brand new user, and so that we can take a good look at what it is from a new user's perspective. And this is called Insight Timer. And once again, just to remind you, all the links for these from the Play Store will be in the description below. And just a quick word about you Apple users. I'm sorry, but I have no clue. I don't believe in Apple products per se, and I don't really know anything about what's available as far as apps go. Most of these apps probably will be available in both Android as well as Apple, but this is definitely this is an Android instruction, so the links will be to the Google Play Store. Let's take a look at the Insight Timer. And so this is interesting. Right off the bat, we see that there are 445,000 people using the Insight Timer today. That's kind of interesting. We'll just hit got it for this. So immediately it's going to step us through, right? Because this is a new install, so it's going to step you through the various features, which is what I wanted everybody to see, because it saves me a lot of time. So it says long press to customize your home screen and your shortcuts. We'll X out of there. So now we're on the home screen. It says good morning. Here we have our timer. The timer is so that you can set your sessions. If you've watched my core practice video, you know that I talk about elements of practice and the length of the sessions of those elements. 5 minutes is the minimum that I recommend for meditation every day. So do a 5-minute session. But this is where you decide how much time you're going to dedicate per session. And it's where you set your sessions up. You can set up sessions throughout the day, and then you'll be notified. I want to see where I can set up. Let's just look at the timer real quick. So here's they're previewing a premium. Again, this is where you can pay for the app. But this is, so here we have a classic example. I'm going to set up an entire session, and with the notification and the reminder all in one, everything goes here, right? So I can either record my own, like, sort of guided thing. Okay, you can see the play, and you can listen to what you've got set up top here for sound. So here we've got something called the duduk, I don't know, and we have a duration of 30 minutes. It's been a while since I've sat for 30 minutes, but so I would, and then you can change this. You change. This is where you can set how many minutes you want your session to be, the duration of it. You can set your ambient sounds, which are your background sounds. You can set intervals. So say you want a bell to go off. Say you're doing a 30-minute meditation, but you'd like a nice gentle bell every 5 minutes. You can set that there. You can set what your starting bell is. I usually like the sort of singing bowl type starting bell to kind of cleanse my space and put myself in tune. Okay, so you can set up various timers, and then when you got a timer that you like, you can set it as a preset, which means you can keep coming back to that sort of template of practice time and time again. You don't have to keep doing this setup process every single session. You can go to some of your presets and set more sessions throughout the day. And so throughout the day, you'll be notified. If you are working on different stuff, like say you're working on sleep, you need sleep, so you can hit the sleep button that you see there at the top of the screen, and that will enable you to set up a session, but it will show you all the defaults for if you're working in that direction, including the sounds and everything. It will give you some sort of general recommendations to improve your sleep. There's one for mornings. I particularly like that setting because I love to meditate in the morning a little bit, at least one small session in the morning. So hitting the mornings one will give you lots of, high energy, nice upbeat suggestions for your sessions. And so the Insight Timer really is all about meditation. And you can set goals for yourself. You see there in the middle section, you have a way to set different goals. How many times a week, which should be every day. That's what my current setting is. And so you can set goals for yourself, and you can track those goals, although I do believe at some point some of these features you need to do a premium sort of thing. And what that does is it gives you access to those higher features, but also to some premium content. My personal belief is it's worth the subscription, But then again, it's all about trying to do it for everybody. And so if you can't afford that or don't want to do that, the free version works just fine. And so that's the insight timer for your meditation. The next one that I'm going to turn you on to is part of a practice that I do. I've talked a little bit about it in my videos. I might do some more videos and talk more about it in the future. But I practice a Tibetan Buddhist practice known as Lucid Dreaming, which is, in a nutshell, waking up to the fact that you are dreaming while you're still in the dream. That about sums it up. And so Onery, this next app, is an app that I use to journalize my dreams, because that's part of the process of sensitizing your mind to the dream world and being able to lucid dream. You need to track your dreams and journalize them. And so there's a dream journal in there, as well as other sort of tools that you can use to facilitate lucid dreaming, essentially. And it's a pretty deep practice and heavy practice. And you see I've reset this one again to new, so that and it's going to step you through, most of these apps are the same in the sense that it will step you through a series of questions that you answer. And the app will then, based on your preferences, will set certain defaults to assist you, again, in the task of lucid dreaming. This app was, a few words about this app. This app was put out by the Lucid Dream Institute. I'm going to link to that as well in the description, as well as the app. And there's an accompanying book. I think it's just called Lucid Dreaming, but I'll put the title and the link to that. There is a copy in the open library for it, so you can get one for free, but it's also still very, very popular and available in almost all booksellers will have this book on lucid dreaming. It's kind of the go-to book. It does give a nod to Tibetan Buddhism, but it's very secular in its approach and very scientific in its approach. These folks have developed some wonderful technology, not just this app, but they have developed also this wonderful set of it's like a mask that you put on yourself when you go to sleep, this like sort of thick felt mask. But what it does is it recognizes when you are going into rapid eye movement, and then it blinks colored lights to attempt to inform your dream with color that you're dreaming. And then you'll see the flashing red light in the sky in your dream, and you'll be like, oh wait, that's the light on the mask and I'm dreaming. And so you kind of again wake up to the fact that you're dreaming. So they've really delved into that, and they have that sort of a level of knowledge and technology in the field of lucid dreaming. Very trustable people, very good book. I've been reading that book now and working out of that book for, I would say, almost 20 years. It's been around at least that long, I think. And so, yeah, this is a book that accompanies that sort of idea and process of lucid dreaming. So let's go back to the desktop again. The next one that I want to go through with you is a meditation mala, and really, this is prayer beads, guys, on the go, okay? And it's really, really basic. And I'm going to show you right now just how basic. It's a take a deep breath, right? Which you should always do. Now, it's already got some default going on here, so we've got a default background music that you can hear in the background. And I'm going to just take my stylus and touch it through the middle bead here. And yeah, you can see that it moves down, one, right? And I've just done one, and then I touch it again and move it, and then this one. So it's essentially, and it's 108 beads. And you can just do it with your thumb. The reason it's along the side is you just press the bead and move it with your thumb, almost sort of the same motion as the motion you would have if I had the beads in my hand. And that's all I'm doing is sort of dragging my thumb along the center bead to move the mirror. Now, this has tracking features. You can see at the top it says I've moved the bead 6 times. So in theory, if I was using this to say do Om Mani Padme Hum, then I would have done 6 Om Manis, right? And then I can reset it back to 0 again. I can change the background music. I can change all of the beads. For instance, I'm not a big fan of these beads, so let's see what we've got. All right, we'll edit all that out. So here you can see where everything is selectable about your mailer, right? Essentially, it's a virtual mailer. That's what you can think of this as. So I can select my bead, first of all. Okay, we can go fancy. We'll go with jade. Right? And then I can select my thread. I like red, so I'm going to definitely just keep red. You can set reminder times. So when you want to say your mailer. So like if you say you want to, this is actually a perfect time for me every day. So this one would be a great time to say a mailer, right? You can purchase the upgrade. This is how many beads are on the mailer. You should keep that at 108 really. And then you can put the music, the background, right? So I can put it as a bell instead. See? I can put the singing bowl. All right. And there we go. And now I have there we go. We have a count of 1 up at the top. So this is just a very simple. It's a virtual mailer, a virtual prayer beads with all the sorts of neat things built in, like a notification of when you want, a time of day when you want to be saying a mailer, this is part of your daily practice. You should set a time, a reminder time. And then also you have session reminders and whatnot within the session. And again, you can set everything, the graphics of which bead and thread and the background, all of that. So there you go. That's your virtual mailer. Now, the next one we're going to do is really simple. We can probably skip through it pretty quick. It's the Dharmapada in English. I really am a big believer of the Dhammapada. I think it's a great way to keep in touch with your Buddhistness. I don't know if that's a word, but keep in touch with your Buddhism throughout the day, because the Dhammapada is these wonderful little bite-sized teachings. That's the nature of that scripture. So and we'll just bring up, and it's just an app to sort of organize your Dhammapada, be able to bookmark where you left off. You can like different passages. You can see here where I've liked a number of passages within the Dhammapada that I appreciate. And it's just a way to read the Dhammapada. The Dhammapada, for those not familiar 100%, is one of the scriptures. It's Pali canon, which is one of the most ancient, extant sort of scriptures. And these are just sayings of Buddha, you could say, really. Just little wisdom snippets from Lord Buddha to sort of raise your spirit and to give you food for thought. I love the Dhammapada. Like I said, it's great for easy consumption throughout the day. You're feeling a little stressed, do a 5-minute meditation session, read a few passages from the Dhammapada, and you've done some practice to sort of settle yourself, right? So that's it. It is what it is. If you want to read and know the Dhammapada, which is really an iconographic scripture. I mean, one of the things when I studied religions of the world, other people from outside of Buddhism, when they're told to sort of get a flavor of what Buddhist scripture is all about, the Dhammapada is often what the go-to sort of scripture that is pointed to for people to study and say, well, this is a good idea of common Buddhism and what Buddhism feels like, if you will. So yeah, it's very good to have a copy of the Dhammapada with you at all times. It really fulfills that scriptural study requirement. You know what I mean? That's sort of part of core practice. And there it is. So the next one in the vein of scripture that we're going to do, this is 84,000 I guess is what you'd call them. But they are for Vajrayana practitioners. They essentially translate massive amounts of Vajrayana scripture and commentary, and they translate it into various languages, including English, and they put it here on this app for free. So it's endless. I mean, there are got to be, I don't know, here we go. They got the totals right here. See, on the thing, 70,000 total Kangyur pages, whatever that is. Lama would know. 27,964 pages published. 41,300 pages are in progress. I mean, these guys are doing it, right? And so they're getting that Vajrayana scripture translated, preserved, collated, indexed, and then they push it out through their website and also through this wonderful app to gives you a chance to bookmark stuff and collect your own little collection and set it aside and sort of work within their collection through the app. So 100% if you are wanting to study some Vajrayana scripture and you don't want to pay tons of money on Amazon, which I've discovered the hard way is the other alternative, then this is free. So there you go. Vajrayana scripture. The next one is Buddha mantra. And the Buddha mantra, again, is pretty much what's on the tin. It's mantras. And you can see where they all have the count. So you can keep count. This is an important part of retreat tools. And I think that these last two sort of apps that I'm going to go over with you, that's where they really come in. They're good for retreat tools because in the retreats, a lot of times is where you're asked to do these things, these mantras and these practices a certain amount of times. And then you can keep track of that in the inside of these apps. And I think that's really, really cool, right? That's a neat tool that could come in handy. So here we have offline prayers. We have online prayers. I'm online now, so we could take a look at the online prayers. It'll probably take a second to, well, maybe we have to add them from the web, I guess. Let's go ahead. I see. We can add our own. Oh, this is neat. So we can add a prayer. We put the prayer name in there. We put the YouTube URL and then an image, and we can add our own mantras. I see. That's very cool. So, and these are the ones that are just pre-generated. Well, that's very nifty. And so here's mantras that I'm sure our dear Lama would recognize. I recognize some of them. And so you can do these mantras, keep count of the mantras, and let's just I think that's about it. I don't think you get a notification. It does give you speed, right, which is important, and also if you want to do a loop, tells you when to start to count, and a bookmark. So pretty nifty little app, but definitely as good or better than the next app I'm going to show you for organizing essentially mantras. So again, very unified in its purpose, but for dealing with the recitation of mantras, this app is the go-to. And last but not least, this is one I've used for a while. Om. I'm just going to call it Om. Okay, it's Om, Om, something like that. But so this app is marginally useful. And I've saved it for last. It's not a high recommendation app. We'll go ahead and log in under Google. Guys, don't steal my password. I'm just joking. I'm not gonna type my password on the video. So we'll log in, and it's already saved my account. I have played with this app before, so what this app does. Let's see if we can make that. So you can see where it deals with background music. We've got notifications, that sort of thing. I might even have some messages out in this. This app is loaded, as you can see. It's probably overdone. it's a very frenetic app in that sense. It's very overdone, and it's got a lot of stuff. And unfortunately, even when you set the language for English, about half of these things are still going to show up in what I believe is Taiwanese, whatever language the Thai people speak. However, you can see there's tons of useful things here, and some of them actually do work. One of the things that's very useful is the daily practice, where you can set up, and again, this is particularly useful, I believe, for retreats. And so you can set up various daily practices. This is one that I wanted to do, which was, I like the Omani. I say the Omani a lot, so I had that already set up in there. Your personal achievements, where you can sort of track, like you can set targets for how many mantras you want to do and how different prayers in your routine, right? And set your personal achievement. So it's a neat app, and I think it would be very useful specifically at retreats. There's places where you can track your counts again on different practices and mantras. There are assistants in prayers, learning different prayers and learning how to recite them. One of the things I found is good for pronunciation of different stuff like mantras and prayers. But there's just so much here, it would be impossible really to explore all of it. And again, a lot of this is unfortunately in the wrong language. So like there's a button here for Kala Chakra. I'm a fan of I'm interested in the Kala Chakra. I'll push that and we'll see where it takes us. But there'll be some sort of resource here. And so it took us to a website, essentially. And as you can see, it's in Vietnamese. That's the language. Again, I thought it was Taiwanese, but it's Vietnamese. And so we don't want it to translate it. We couldn't make it translate it. But you see there where we've opened up a browser window straight out of the app. So there's a Dharma library, but again, I'm not sure that's in the right language. Vietnamese Buddhism, some stuff on the Dalai Lama. This app is only marginally useful, but there are a couple of things in here that could come in handy for you. And I suspect that they will be to do with retreats. One of the ones I like, and I have already checked it out before, is the offerings. I really like how you can make offerings to various sort of practitioners and have them say prayers and stuff. That's really neat. So yeah, there's a bunch of things. There's a forum there. Again, you're going to find though that I think it's in the wrong language. And down bottom, there's a button you can learn about the different Buddhas. And then there's So there you go. So that's and that pretty much completes our tour of useful Buddhist apps. We'll go back to the desktop and bring the camera back up. Oh, that completes our tour of the 8 below that you see right below my head, apps for Android mobile and Android tablets, and even they work on Chrome notebook. They're available in the Google Play Store. I will link to them below. In general, these are the best that work for me. What I'd like you to take away from is not necessarily the idea that this is the perfect app. The Dharma Bum said it's so I have to cling to that. The idea is that almost anything you want to do in Buddhism has already been appified. All right, so go out there and find it. Find a tool that works for you and makes Dharma in the modern age easier to practice. And that's what I believe, for me anyway. These 8 apps do that for me. They're useful. They're very awesome apps, especially for taking your Dharma on the go. I can have everything from my sacred space, my shrine, to my prayer beads in my phone. And I always have my phone. We all do, right? So no need to carry extra things around, although it still doesn't replace a real mail of beads. It still doesn't replace me, taking our portable shrine out and setting it up. But it does help during those times when that's not something I can do. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's flip the camera around. So we got boys, where are you? Where's my boys? All right, everybody. So that's our video for today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Dharma Bum Show on mobile Buddhist apps. And me and the boys are going to give you the traditional blessing. We got one boy way out here in the sun. There he is. Xander Bay, here on this gorgeous day. You can see that it's 67 degrees out, but it's actually really gorgeous. It'll go up to about 80 today. And so, the boys here, present, my co-hosts, and we give you a blessing today. May everything be auspicious. Thank you for watching the videos. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.